look at this first one, so you're gonna factor in two ways. You're gonna look at the numbers and pretend that there's no letters, and then you're gonna try to pull out the letters. Okay, so are there any numbers? By numbers, I mean a number up front, in front of the X. No, okay? Then if there's no numbers, and you're definitely gonna have parentheses on here, and you can draw them nice and big to leave yourself some room. We can see here that they both definitely have X's, okay? Now, we have one with a 7X and one with a 6X. You can only take the least amount that has in both, okay? So if we look at this, how many X's are the least amount from both? I have one with a 6 and one with a 7. 6. Okay, so I can pull out, and this is what it gets pulled out, meaning it's going to go on the outside. I can take X to the 6th out. Okay, now our signs on the inside, nothing's going to change, so we can put those back there. Okay, well, and if you think of it in terms of money, if he had $7 and I took 6, how many dollars does he have left? $1. So you can say X, or you can say X to the 1. Okay, well, if he had $6 and I took 6, how many does he have left? 0. And what is X to the 0 power? 1. Okay, we don't really write X to the 0. For today's purposes, if it makes you feel better to write X to the 0, by all means. Okay, and so this one is done. We've pulled out the biggest of everything that we can pull out of those parentheses. Okay, look at number 3. So we're going to do the numbers first. Okay, well, draw your parentheses. Now, there's two ways to do this. Okay, and I'm going to show you both. Some of you guys are able to look at this and say, what is the biggest factor you can pull out? By factor, I mean divide. What is the biggest number that you could divide into 6 and 9? 3. Now, if you cannot, we've done this method before. What are some factors of 9? No, you don't want to do 1. 3 and 3. Okay, and then this one, same thing. What could you pull out of 6? 2 and 3. What is in common? 3s. Okay, meaning you can pull out of 3. So if it's something that you don't know right away, and it could never be bigger than a 6, okay? Because 6 is the biggest number that we have. It could never be bigger than 6. So you're going to put your signs back. And the way to kind of look at this is by division. What is 9 divided by 3? 3. What is 6 divided by 3? 2. Okay, and so this is done. And there was no letters, but if there was letters, then you would do the letters second part. Okay, you would take the numbers and factor those out first, and then do the letters. Okay, so if we look at 5, draw your parentheses and put your signs back. Okay, now some teachers would say pull out the negative. I'm not worried about that today. You totally can, but it's not necessary. Okay, so what are our two numbers we're working with? No. 3 and what? 1. What is the biggest thing you can pull between 3 and 1? 1. It cannot be bigger than the smaller number. Okay, so there's really nothing to pull out. So we're going to put the 3 back. Okay, well, what about the letters? I got a 4 and a 2. What's the least amount of letters I can pull? 2. So we're going to put V2 here on the outside. Okay, well, if he had 4 and I took 2, how many does he have left? 2. So you're going to say V2. If he had 2 and I took 2, how many's left? 0. And what is V to the 0? 1 or nothing. Remember, it kind of cancels. So we're just going to leave it as a 3. Okay, and today I'm not going to to critique you. If you want to put V to the 0, you're more than welcome to. Okay. Okay, let's look at 7. Okay, draw your parentheses and put your signs back in. Okay, we start with the numbers. I have 32 and 20. What is what do you know that is the least number that you could pull? It cannot be any bigger than what? 20, okay? It definitely can't be any bigger than 20. Can you pull 20 from 30? No, okay? So you need to start thinking about what are some things that divide into 20 that also go into 32. 2, 4, okay? And so if you're not sure, and this is one that like, some people accidentally will take 2 out and there's a bigger number than 2, okay? So my suggestion to you would be to do that little tree, okay? So what are some factors of 32? We start with 2. 2 and 16, okay? And what about 16? 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. Okay, well, what about 20? 2 and 10, 2 and 5. Okay, so, and remember, we are gonna match some stuff up. So, how many 2s can I pull? It's gotta be in both. Remember, so this one has 2 2s, and this one has 2 2s. Can I pull out a 5? No, because this side does not have a 5. And so you kind of multiply these. What is 2 times 2? 4. So 4 is definitely the biggest number that we can pull. Okay, now, do all of you guys need to do this? No, especially when they're like a 6 and a 9. You should be able to look at that and see. Okay, but, and I don't want to say like smarter because that's not a nice word. Some of you guys know your multiplication facts better than others. Okay? That's not me downing anybody. Like, I cannot do subtraction to save my life and my brain. Okay? I freaking can't. My husband's like, what's 32 minus 7? I don't know. Like, I got to freaking count with my fingers. Okay? So, it's okay. He thinks he's smarter than me. He's not smarter than me in math, but subtraction, he's got me all day. Okay? So, maybe double check it on the calculator or do the factoring tree method. Okay? So, 32 divided by 4 is what? 8. 20 divided by 4, 5. Okay, and real quick, while we're on this one, I want to show you another method if you do not like the factoring tree. The same way that we've been doing like this, 32, you would say 1 and 32. Does 2 go in? 2 and what? 2 and 16. Does 3? Does 4? 4 and 8. Okay. Does 5? 6, 7, and 8's on our list. Okay. Let's look at 20. We got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. What's the biggest number out of all these that can match? 4. Okay, so if you prefer doing it like this, then by all means do it like that. Okay, what about the M's? Okay, we did our number. Let's look at the letter. What about the M's? Okay, how many does my first guy have? None. Okay, how many does my second guy have? 2. What is the least amount that I can pull? None. I can't take any. Okay, and if you look at it like money, right? Can you take $2 from somebody that has no dollars? No, you cannot. Okay, so we're going to put the M squared back, and I should have left more room, but okay, look at 9. Draw your parentheses. Put your signs back. Okay, let's look at the numbers. What is the biggest number I could possibly pull? Cannot be any bigger than 3. Okay, so does 3 go into 18? Yeah. Okay, so we can pull a 3 out. Okay, well, what is 3 divided by 3? 1. 18 divided by 3? 6. Okay, let's look at the letters. My first guy has how many M's? None. Second guy? 1. So what is the least amount I can pull? None. Okay, you can't take any money from somebody who doesn't have any money. Okay, so we're just going to put the M back. Okay, 11. My number to pull cannot be any bigger than what? 15, okay? And I think maybe for you guys, since we've been doing this all week, this method might be easier, okay? 20, what's your first one gonna be? 1 and 20, always. Does 2 go in? 2 and 10. Does 3 go in? 4. 4 and 5. Okay, what about 15? 1 and 15. Does 2 go in? 3. 3 and 5. Does 4 go in? And 5's already on our list. So what is the biggest number there? Matchies. Yep, 5. Okay, so 5 is going to be our greatest common factor. Okay, so we can put a 5 on the outside. 20 divided by 5. 4. 15 divided by 5. 3. And if you look here, look at this guy. What was next to the 5? 4. What was next to the 5? 3. Okay? Okay, what about the ends? My first guy has how many? 4. My second guy has how many? 1. What is the least amount I could pull? 1. Okay, we can say n, or you can say n to the 1. It doesn't matter. Okay, so if he had 4 and I took 1, how many does he have left? 3. Okay, if he had 1 and I took 1, how many does he have left? None. Okay, and you could put n to the 0, or you don't have to put anything. Okay, my suggestion would be to put nothing because it looks mathematically better and more professional. But for today's purposes, if you want to put n to the 0, you're more than welcome to. But you guys are getting to be grown-ups, and this is not actually the correct way to do it. Okay. Okay, you guys got 6 of them to do. Go through and get them done, and then put them in the box back there.